I'm built for this. Say it out loud. Let it sink in. Let it echo through the parts of you that have been doubting, hesitating, and second guessing. You got to understand something real important. What you've been through didn't break you. It shaped you. It taught you. It prepared you. See, life doesn't hand out comfort first. It hands out challenge. It gives you storms, trials, delays, detours. And in those moments when it felt like you were about to fold, you didn't. Maybe you cried, maybe you paused, maybe you even thought about quitting, but you didn't. You're still here. That's not by accident. That's proof. You've got to remind yourself that you're built for whatever is in front of you. That means the pressure, the responsibility, the deadlines, the uncertainty. You've got what it takes. Not because someone handed you a perfect plan, but because life handed you pressure and you learned how to stand. You learned how to move forward. Even when you didn't have all the answers, you kept going when it was dark and confusing and heavy. That's strength, real strength. Not the kind that makes noise, but the kind that survives silently. You don't need every condition to be perfect to start moving. The myth is that you have to feel fearless before you do something hard. Nah, that's not how it works. You do it scared, you do it unsure, you do it without a crowd cheering you on, because when you know you're built for it, you stop waiting for validation and just go. There's a reason why your heart hasn't let go of that dream. There's a reason why, despite the odds, you still want more out of life. That's not random. That's not fantasy. That's the fire inside of you reminding you who you are. You are not average. You are not soft. You're not weak just because you've been weary. Everyone gets tired, but people who are built for it, they keep showing up. They don't let tired turn into quitting. You've got to start talking to yourself with the same belief you give to other people. You encourage others. You remind them they're capable. So why are you acting like you don't deserve that same energy, that same love, that same belief? Give it to yourself. Feed your spirit with words that push you forward. I'm built for this is not just a motivation. It's the truth. It's a reminder that what's in you is greater than what. And don't get it twisted. It doesn't mean everything will come easy. It means that even when it doesn't, you won't fold. You'll find another way. You'll adapt. You'll learn. You'll grow. Pressure can't break you because you were made to handle more than most. You've proven that already. Look at your history. Look at your survival. That's not weakness. That's evidence of something special. So stop doubting your steps just because they're hard. Hard doesn't mean wrong. Hard just means real. You are equipped with more than you give yourself credit for. You've got instincts, you've got vision, you've got grit. Now walk like it, think like it, speak like it. Every morning, every challenge, every moment of fear, remind yourself, I'm built for this. And then act like it, because you are. You woke up this morning, and that alone is a gift. Not everyone got that same chance. The alarm went off, your eyes opened, and whether you felt ready or not, life gave you one more shot. One more day to make something happen. One more chance to shift direction, change your mindset, build momentum. That's power right there. A new beginning wrapped up in the ordinary rhythm of a day. But don't let that fool you. Today is anything but ordinary. Too often we drag yesterday into today like it's luggage we're required to carry. The disappointment, the regret, the mistakes, the missed chances, all of it comes along for the ride. But here's the truth. Yesterday is over. It had its moment, it had its say, but now it's done. And what you choose to do with this day, that's what matters. This isn't a copy of yesterday. It's not a continuation of your failures. It's a blank page. The pen is still in your hand. There's a reason people feel stuck. It's not because they don't have options. It's because they've forgotten they're allowed to start over. You can start over at 7 o'clock a.m. You can start over at 3:15 in the afternoon. You can start over whenever you choose to shift your focus. You're not bound by the mistakes you made before. The only thing that makes them stick is if you keep replaying them like they're part of your identity. They're not. They were lessons. And today is a fresh opportunity to apply what you've learned. You might not be where you want to be yet, but progress starts with a single decision. You don't have to conquer the whole mountain today. Maybe all you do today is take one right step. Maybe you call that person you've been avoiding. Maybe you finally send that email, write that page, drink that water, get that walk in, say that prayer. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be massive. It just has to be intentional. And don't wait for motivation to show up before you start. Motivation is unreliable. It's like the weather, too unpredictable. But commitment, that's something you can build. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It cares what you decide. And if you decide today is your opportunity, you'll start seeing doors open that were already there. You just couldn't see them through the fog of yesterday. It's never too late to restart your day either. Maybe the morning didn't go well. Maybe you snapped at someone. Maybe you didn't follow through on what you said you'd do. That's okay. Pause. Reset. You don't need a new sunrise to shift your attitude. You just need a moment of awareness, a reminder that you are not stuck. You are never stuck unless you decide to be. This day has potential written all over it. You might not feel it yet, but that's not the point. The point is that it's here. Time is running, and you can either ride with it or get dragged by it. Either way, the clock is moving. So why not move with purpose? Let others waste their days scrolling, complaining, waiting for the perfect moment. You know better. You know that today could be the day everything changes, not because of luck, not because of magic, but because of choice. And every second that ticks by is another invitation to choose again. So when the noise of life gets loud, when distractions pull you, when the doubts creep in, bring yourself back to this truth. Today is a new opportunity. It's not yesterday, it's not tomorrow, it's now. And what you do with now, that's up to you. I've got a purpose. You didn't show up in this world by mistake. You're not just here to pay bills, sit in traffic, and hope weekends feel like freedom. You've got something in you that the world needs. Something nobody else can bring in quite the same way. Doesn't matter where you started, who doubted you, or how many times you've fallen. There's a reason you're still standing. There's a reason your heart still beats with that quiet whisper saying, there's more. That more is your purpose. It's not always loud. It doesn't always come with applause or clear instructions. Sometimes it just feels like a pull, like a restless itch in your spirit that won't let you settle. That's not frustration. That's direction. That's your soul recognizing that you were made for something beyond survival. You were made to contribute, to create, to help, to teach, to lead, to heal. Whatever your calling is, it's yours and it's real. Purpose doesn't require perfection. Too many people wait until they have it all together before they move. Don't do that. You'll waste years trying to clean up what's already usable. You don't have to be flawless to be effective. You don't have to be famous to matter. You just have to move with intention. You've got gifts. You've got insight. You've got scars that turned into wisdom. All of that is part of your design. There are people out there who need exactly what you carry, your story, your strength, your way of seeing the world. But if you keep shrinking yourself, if you keep playing small, trying to blend in when you were born to stand out, those people miss out. And you miss out. Purpose doesn't grow in hiding. It grows in action, in effort, in showing up even when you feel uncertain. You ever notice how even in your lowest moments, something inside you didn't give up? That's purpose holding you up when willpower ran out. That's the deeper part of you that knows you're not done. It knows you're being shaped by what you're going through. So when you feel lost, when life gets confusing, don't panic. Purpose doesn't always look like a straight line. It looks like detours, setbacks, wrong turns that lead to the right lessons. You might not know every detail of your purpose yet, and that's okay. You don't need the whole blueprint to take the next step. Just pay attention to what pulls at you, what makes you feel alive. What do people come to you for? What are the things you can't stop thinking about, even when no one's watching? That's the trail. Follow it, keep listening, keep moving. Purpose doesn't mean everything will be easy. In fact, it usually means you'll face more challenges because you're walking a path that matters. But when you're walking in purpose, the pain hits different. The hard days don't break you the same. You've got direction. You've got meaning behind your moves, and that gives you staying power. So don't brush off the dreams you have. Don't silence your ideas just because they seem too big or too bold. They were given to you for a reason. Your voice, your vision, your presence, it all has value. The world's a little brighter, a little better when you walk in alignment with who you really are. Start telling yourself this every day. I've got a purpose. Say it until you believe it. Then live like it's true, because it is. My attitude is my power. Life's going to throw things at you that you didn't ask for. Storms you didn't see coming. Delays, disappointments, unexpected problems. You can't control all of that. You can't always control people, timing, or outcomes, but there's one thing you can control every single time: your attitude. And let me tell you, that's not a small thing. That's everything. Your attitude determines how you show up, how you bounce back, how you move forward. It's your power. Some people walk around acting like their mood is at the mercy of the world. Like every red light, every rude person, every inconvenience has the right to control their peace. That's not power, that's surrender. You don't hand over your attitude to just anybody. Your attitude is your engine. It drives how you handle pressure, how you treat people, how you talk to yourself. You guard that. You protect it like it's sacred, because it is. Mm-hmm. You can have talent, resources, knowledge, but without the right attitude, it won't mean much. Talent without a good attitude turns into entitlement. Opportunity without a good attitude turns into frustration. But you take someone who keeps their mindset in check, who chooses positivity on purpose, who carries grace and grit in how they respond, and that person can walk into any room and change the atmosphere. Now, that doesn't mean you fake it. This isn't about pretending to be happy when you're hurting. It's about choosing not to let the hurt run the whole show. It's about saying, yeah, this is hard, but I'm not going to let it make me bitter. It's about saying, I'm tired, but I'm not giving up. That's attitude, that's strength, that's power. Your attitude shows up before you do. You ever meet someone and feel their energy before they even speak? That's because attitude isn't just a feeling, it's a force. It walks into rooms ahead of you. It colors your tone, your posture, your choices. It either opens doors or closes them. And the beautiful thing is, you get to choose what kind of force you bring with you every day. You'll never have a life without stress, but you can have a life without drama if your attitude doesn't add fuel to every fire. You'll never have a day where everything goes perfectly, but you can have a day where you refuse to be defeated by what goes wrong. That's a decision you make before your feet hit the floor in the morning. You don't wait until the trouble shows up to decide how you'll handle it. You decide in advance, no matter what happens today, I'm going to keep my peace. I'm going to handle it with strength. I'm going to respond with wisdom, not just emotion. Attitude is also how you talk to yourself. If the voice in your head is always negative, always doubtful, always tearing you down, you won't need enemies. you'll already be defeated from the inside out. But when your inner voice is strong, when it reminds you of your worth, when it says, we got this, even on the tough days, that's how you win battles nobody else even sees. People might overlook you, circumstances might stretch you, life might hit you harder than you expected, but your attitude, that's where you take your power back. That's where you rise above. That's where you remind the world and yourself that you're not controlled by conditions, you're guided by character. And that right there is what separates people who just survive. I'm worth the effort. You've got to remind yourself of this every single day. Not just when you feel good, not just when everything's going right, especially on the days when you feel drained, overlooked, uncertain. Those are the moments when this truth matters most, because we live in a world that tries to convince you that you're only valuable when you're producing, pleasing, performing, but your worth isn't something that changes based on productivity. It's built into who you are. And because you're worthy, that means you're worth the effort to grow, the effort to heal, the effort to become the best version of yourself. It's so easy to pour energy into other people. You check in on them. You make time for their needs. You lift them up when they're down. But when's the last time you did that for you? When's the last time you made your peace, your growth, your rest a priority? This isn't about being selfish. It's about realizing you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're always last on your own list, eventually you'll run out of the energy that makes you you. You're not here just to survive. You're not here to live burned out, worn down, half awake to your own life. You're here to live fully. But that doesn't happen by accident. You got to work for it. You've got to invest in yourself like you matter, because you do. That means saying no to things that drain you, even if people don't understand. That means setting boundaries, not because you're mean, but because you respect your time and peace. That means choosing growth, even when it's uncomfortable, because staying stuck is more painful in the long run. You are worth the gym membership. You are worth the therapy session. You are worth the quiet moment in the morning to pray, journal, or just breathe. You are worth the time it takes to break old habits and build new ones. You are worth feeding your body good food, feeding your mind good thoughts, feeding your soul good truth. You don't have to earn that. You just have to decide to believe it. You won't always feel motivated. Let's be honest. Some days you won't feel like doing anything. But on those days, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself that every bit of effort you put into yourself compounds over time. That 5-minute walk, that glass of water, that moment of stillness, it all adds up. And every time you choose you, you're reinforcing your value to yourself. You're saying, I matter. People will treat you based on how you treat yourself. If you show up like someone who believes in their own worth, people notice. If you carry yourself with care, confidence, and self-respect, you set the tone for how others approach you. But it starts on the inside. It starts with how you talk to you. So cut the self-hate, cut the guilt. You're not lazy because you need rest. You're not weak because you have emotions. You're not behind because you're healing. You're human. And your healing, your growth, your joy, they're worth the work. So show up for yourself the way you do for everyone else. Be your own encourager. Be your own protector. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for someone to come save you. Save yourself. Fight for your peace. Fight for your joy. Put in the effort, not because you're broken, but because you're valuable. Because you know deep down, even on the hard days, you are worth every bit of energy it takes to live the life you were made for. Life will not compare myself to anyone else. You've got your own lane, your own journey, your own timing. You're not here to be a copy of anyone. You're here to be you. And that version of you, the real, evolving, imperfect, powerful you, is more than enough. The problem is we live in a world that wants to put everything on display. Social media, success stories, filtered highlights, it's everywhere. And if you're not careful, you'll start measuring your life against someone else's best moments and wonder why you feel like you're behind. But comparison is a trap. It doesn't inspire growth. It steals peace. You look at their progress and question your purpose. You see their wins and forget your own. And it happens fast. You see a friend hit a milestone and suddenly your progress doesn't feel like progress anymore. You scroll through someone's perfect looking life and suddenly yours feels small. But understand this, you don't know the full picture. You don't see the private battles, the sacrifices, the nights they wanted to quit but didn't. All you're seeing is a snapshot, not the story. And even if you did see the full picture, it still wouldn't change your lane. Because no matter how well someone else is doing, it has nothing to do with your worth. Their blessings aren't your failures. Their shine doesn't dim your light. There's room for both. There's space for everyone to win. But you've got to believe that your path has value, even if it doesn't look like theirs. You weren't built for their race. You were built for yours. That means your timing is going to look different. Your route may take longer. You may have more detours, more healing, more unlearning to do. But that doesn't mean you're behind. It just means you're human. And you're moving through life with depth, not just speed. Don't let someone else's timeline trick you into rushing through your own. The truth is, you don't need to be better than anyone else. You just need to be better than the version of you from yesterday. That's the only comparison that counts. Are you growing? Are you learning? Are you showing up with intention, even if it's messy? That's progress. That's victory celebrated. You also need to remind yourself that you don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. Life isn't a race to the finish line. It's a journey of becoming, and becoming takes time. Real growth isn't always visible. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it looks like stillness, like rest, like deep internal work that no one claps for. But it's just as important. Stop checking their path. Focus on yours. There's beauty in your unique design. There's power in your perspective, in your process. And when you stop comparing, you start noticing. You notice how far you've come. You notice the strength it took to get here. You notice the wins that once seemed small but are actually massive. That's the kind of awareness that builds confidence. The kind that says, I don't need to keep up. I just need to keep going. You are not less than because someone else is further along. You are not failing because someone else is faster. And you are not invisible just because someone else is louder. You're doing the work in your lane. That matters. That counts. And as long as you keep showing up, keep being real, keep honoring your own path, you're winning. Stay in your lane. That's where your peace lives. That's where your purpose grows. That's where your power is. I choose progress over perfection. There's a lot of pressure these days to get everything right, to have the perfect plan, the perfect body, the perfect job, the perfect response to every situation. And that pressure is heavy. It makes people freeze. It convinces them to wait until things are just right before they move. But here's the truth. Perfection is a myth. It's a moving target that keeps shifting every time you think you're close. It's not real. And chasing it will wear you out. What is real? Progress, growth, small steps forward, even when they're messy. Progress means showing up even when you don't feel 100%. It means giving what you've got today, not waiting until you feel like a superhero. Some days you'll crush your goals. Some days you'll barely make it out of bed. But both kinds of days matter. Both count. Why? Because progress isn't about perfection. It's about consistency, about showing up with what you have, where you are, and doing the best you can. Too often people wait. Wait until they lose the weight. Wait until they feel confident. Wait until they have more money, more support, more certainty. But life doesn't wait. Growth doesn't wait. And if you're always holding out for the perfect moment, you'll miss the real moments that could have moved you forward. Progress happens in the middle of uncertainty. It happens in the discomfort. It happens when you decide that movement, even slow, clumsy, uncomfortable movement, is better than standing still. And listen, progress is rarely linear. You'll have setbacks. You'll fall off track. You'll make mistakes. But that doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human. The key is not to let those moments define you. Let them teach you. Let them strengthen your resilience. Every stumble is an opportunity to come back stronger, wiser, more grounded. Perfection would have you believe one mistake ruins everything. Progress knows that every mistake can build you if you let it. Perfectionism also kills creativity. It silences voices. It stops people from trying. It makes people afraid to speak up, start their business, write their book, launch their dream. Because what if it's not good enough? But not good enough according to who? Half the time, people are judging themselves against standards that don't even matter. Progress doesn't ask you to be flawless. It asks you to be real, to show up, to try, and to keep trying. You're not supposed to have it all figured out. You're supposed to be growing. You're supposed to be learning as you go. That means giving yourself grace. That means celebrating effort, not just outcomes. That means looking at what is working instead of obsessing over what isn't. Every win, no matter how small, is proof that you're moving, and movement builds momentum. So tell yourself this every day: I'm here to grow, not to impress. That shift in mindset will set you free. Free from the need to compare. Free from the fear of falling short. Free to try, to build, to stretch, to evolve. That's how real progress happens. You stack enough small steps together, and one day you'll look back and realize you've built something strong, something meaningful. Forget perfect. Perfect is a lie. You don't need to be perfect to make a difference. You don't need to be perfect to be loved. You don't need to be perfect to be proud of yourself. You just need to keep going. That's the power of progress. It doesn't wait. It builds, and so do you. I will focus on what I can control. Life is full of uncertainty. Things happen that you didn't plan for, didn't see coming, and definitely didn't ask for. People change, opportunities slip away, plans fall apart, and in moments like that, it's easy to feel powerless, like you're just reacting to everything instead of actually living. But here's the truth. You may not control what happens around you, but you do control what happens within you. You get to choose your attitude, you get to choose your response, you get to choose your focus. When you focus on what you can control, other people's opinions, the past, the economy, the weather, you create anxiety, you stir up frustration, you drain yourself trying to fix things that are outside your reach. But when you shift your focus inward to the things you can influence, your choices, your mindset, your reactions, you take your power back. You stop living like a victim of your circumstances and start living like the leader of your life. Think about it. You can't control how someone treats you, but you can control whether you let their words define your worth. You can't control the outcome of a situation, but you can control how prepared you are and how much effort you bring to the table. You can't rewrite the past, but you can learn from it and decide how it shapes your future. That's power. Too many people spend their energy wishing things were different instead of working with what they've got, wishing they had more time, more resources, more support. But here's the thing, your progress doesn't come from what you wish you had. It comes from what you do with what you've got. And every single day you've got tools in your hands, your mindset, your discipline, your habits, your words, your boundaries. That's where the real change happens. Focusing on what you can control also brings peace. You stop wasting mental energy trying to manage the unmanageable. You stop letting every negative comment or every delay throw you off your path. You become grounded, centered, calm, not because life is easy, but because you've decided to anchor yourself in what's steady. You can't calm the storm, but you can calm yourself. And sometimes that's enough. This mindset also helps with goals. It keeps you locked in on the process instead of obsessed with the result. You can't control how fast success shows up, but you can control your consistency. You can't control how others receive your work, but you can control how excellent and honest you are in doing it. When you stay focused on what's in your hands, you stop waiting for the stars to align and start making moves, even in uncertainty. And look, there will be times when you do feel overwhelmed, when life throws more at you than you feel ready to handle. That's normal. But in those moments, ask yourself, what's in my control right now? Maybe it's taking a deep breath. Maybe it's turning off your phone and resting. Maybe it's making one phone call, taking one step, doing one small thing that reminds you you're not helpless. You're not hopeless. You've got something you can do, and doing something is always better than doing nothing. So every morning, remind yourself, I will focus on what I can control. Say it out loud if you have to. Let it shape your choices. Let it calm your nerves. Let it center your day. Because when your focus is right, your power is activated. And no matter what's happening around you, you'll find your way through it stronger, steadier, and still standing. I have what it takes to handle today. You don't need to have tomorrow figured out. You don't need to fix everything overnight. What you need is to remind yourself right now that you have what it takes to face this day, this hour, this moment. Because it's easy to feel overwhelmed when your mind jumps ahead, thinking about all the things that could go wrong, all the things you haven't done yet, or all the unknowns waiting down the road. But peace isn't found in trying to solve the whole future. Peace comes when you remind yourself that you're equipped for now. You've been through things before, hard things, unexpected things, and you made it through. Not because you had all the answers, but because you kept going, you adjusted, you figured it out, you found strength you didn't know you had. And that strength didn't just disappear. It's still in you. It's still real. And it's still available every time you feel unsure. That's what resilience looks like. Not perfection, not confidence all the time, but the quiet courage to keep showing up. Sometimes people wait until they feel brave to take action, but it doesn't work like that. Bravery isn't something you wait to feel. It's something you decide to be. You choose to take the next step, even when you're scared. You choose to believe that what's in you is greater than what's in front of you. You don't have to see the whole staircase. You just have to trust that the next step will hold your weight. And some days will challenge you more than others. There'll be situations you didn't expect, people who push your buttons, or thoughts that try to pull you back into fear and self-doubt. But every time those thoughts show up, you get a choice. Do you shrink or do you speak truth to them? The truth is that you can handle it. Even if your hands shake, even if your voice trembles, even if you have to pause and gather yourself, that's not weakness. That's humanity, and it's still strength. Sometimes handling today looks like being productive, making moves, checking things off your list. Other times it looks like choosing rest, like slowing down so you don't burn out, like saying no to protect your peace, like taking care of your mind before the pressure takes over. Either way, you're handling it. You're listening to what you need and giving yourself permission to move in alignment with that. That's not quitting. That's wisdom. You also need to remind yourself that your worth isn't tied to how well the day goes, whether everything goes right or everything falls apart. Your value doesn't change. You're not defined by your to-do list. You're not only strong when you have it all together. Strength is sometimes just showing up when you'd rather stay hidden. It's facing the day with faith even when you feel fragile. And if doubt creeps in, that's okay. Let it pass through, but don't let it set up camp. Replace it with truth. Speak over yourself if you need to. I am capable. I am grounded. I don't need to do everything. I just need to take the next right step. That kind of self-talk shifts your energy. It clears space for confidence to rise again, and it helps you realize that even in uncertainty, you're not powerless. You have made it through 100% of your hardest days so far. You've carried heavy things and come out wiser on the other side. You've grown in ways that you didn't always see in the moment, but they've shaped you into who you are now. And the same strength that got you here is still walking with you today. So take a deep breath. Lift your head. Remind yourself, I have what it takes to handle today. Because you do. You